There are a diverse range of teaching strategies for teachers to utilise, including direct instruction, inquiry learning, class discussions, group learning, differentiated learning, and personalised learning. Each teaching strategy has its pros and cons, and many teachers use a range of strategies. Direct instruction has been a very popular strategy for a number of years and involves the teacher giving students guided instructions. As stated in Hollingsworth and Ybarra, direct instruction is teacher-centred, has clear objectives, and explicitly teaches concepts and skills. According to Luke, this approach aims to maximise the amount of time spent learning and material being covered, while positively reinforcing desirable student behaviour. While direct instruction has fallen out of favour in recent years, it still has its place in schools. As stated in Kuhn, each student does not need to reinvent knowledge from the ground up. According to Dean and Kuhn, students taught through direct instruction produce a high number of correct answers when tested straight after instructions are given, although this depth of knowledge is not retained over a longer time frame. Direct instruction would generally take place indoors in a classroom. Teachers utilising this strategy would make use of classroom equipment such as blackboards, LCD screens, or interactive whiteboards in order to explain and demonstrate to students what they are trying to teach. Direct instruction can be an effective teaching strategy provided that students are skilled listeners and keen observers, and that they are able to process the information and later apply it to their learning. This can become extremely challenging when the learning material is complicated or abstract. One criticism of direct instruction is that all students are given the same lesson with no allowance for individual interests, abilities, or learning style. Some students require additional time to process information while other students are very fast learners. Another challenge of direct instruction is that it gives students no opportunity to problem solve or learn independently. Therefore, over a period of time, students may become reliant on the teacher providing them with all the information they should be learning and take little responsibility for their own learning. If students are not required to participate in the class, they will quickly lose interest and retain very little of what is being taught. Many critics of this teaching style object to the one-sided nature of communication when direct instruction is given as a lecture and teachers receive very little student feedback. However, if teachers can engage students by asking questions to check for understanding, there is less chance that students will misunderstand the material and develop misconceptions that the teacher is not aware of. Even constructivists would acknowledge that direct instruction has its place in the classroom, provided that it is used appropriately. It is an extremely effective way of introducing new topics or teaching factual information in subjects such as mathematics. Direct instruction still has its place in the more student-centred classroom of today. When done well, direct instruction can be engaging and interesting, and a large number of students learn more listening to these instructions than they do from other styles of teaching. Because direct instruction has been around for a long time, there is much research that supports its use. If the teacher is enthusiastic, well prepared, and makes an effort to involve the students by asking questions and obtaining feedback, direct instruction can be effective and engaging. Inquiry learning occurs when students are presented with a problem, a question, or a scenario. They are required to identify the issues and do research in order to increase their knowledge and possibly find a solution. In this teaching strategy, students construct their own knowledge and organise new information into existing schemas. As stated in Reynolds, inquiry learning emphasises the importance of the student's understanding of the world. The student and teachers work together to develop this understanding, which ensures that the teacher is aware of the way that the student is organising information and ideas, and allows the teacher to assist the student with their exploration of meaningful ideas and concepts. Students are responsible for much of their own learning, so the teacher is not always able to predict what the final outcome will be. Inquiry learning is often used in subjects such as history, geography, and studies of society and environment. As stated in Reynolds, these subjects often emphasise themes or concepts, which make them ideal for inquiry learning. According to Kuhn, inquiry learning is now seen as an almost essential aspect of the science curriculum. Students are able to recreate experiments using lab equipment, which enables them to learn about and understand scientific concepts. Inquiry learning would generally take place inside a classroom or a science lab. Many resources would be utilised, including books and computers to enable the student to do research, or lab equipment to enable students to experiment. Students may work in pairs or small groups where they can collaborate and learn from their peers. Inquiry learning enables students to be active participants in their learning, which makes it interesting and engaging for the student and helps them to learn deeply by constructing their understanding. Flick stated that the teacher needs to show the students how to learn through explicit teaching of the investigation process, in addition to helping students identify problems by asking questions and scaffolding the learning for each student throughout the inquiry. Murdoch stated that inquiry learning should link classroom learning with real-life experiences of students in order to motivate students and encourage deep thinking. By focusing on subjects that students are interested in, teachers are assured of high student motivation, which is essential for effective inquiry learning. Inquiry learning is almost seen as essential in modern student-centred classrooms. As stated in Reynolds, some of the skills that students acquire during inquiry learning include information processing skills, critical and creative thinking skills, communication skills, and reflective and metacognitive skills. These skills, some of which are higher order, in turn make the students better inquirers and better learners. Teachers have the opportunity to act as a guide and scaffold the learning of students during each step of the inquiry process. Critics of inquiry learning point out that because it is time-consuming, less topics are covered during lessons. However, this may be a worthwhile sacrifice to make. As noted by Kaming and Katay, students appear to gain a better understanding from their lessons, thus ensuring deep knowledge. Direct instruction and inquiry learning both have a place in the classroom along with many other teaching strategies. They can be used to complement one another and produce the best possible learning outcomes for students.